topics related to cybercrime. Today we are going to discuss more interesting topics about cyber and AI that are influencing our lives as individuals and as a society. So I encourage you all to stay tuned, listen to the speakers, and ask questions, and that's very important. Thank you once again, and I hope you will benefit from today's discussions.
Thank you, Noah. Just to continue on the preview or update for yesterday, we were informed, and I have evidence of data and speakers, that the internet users in Kenya is 22.71 million. That's 40%. Social media users are 13 million.05. Mobile connections are 68 million. The industry, that is the cybersecurity industry, socioeconomic development, is the 5th largest. Our speaker also mentioned that the NC4, the multi-agency body mandated to coordinate national cybersecurity matters, has membership, but the academia is not included. The industry is missing. I'm just posing questions. We also heard or learned about reporting cyber crimes. There were discussions on payment applications. We were also told that AI is limited. And we were told that we have an African problem of duplicated laws. We have policies on cybersecurity and AI, but there is a question. Do we have talent to work in the industry? An online participant sent several questions. I'll just pick one and expand on it. He said, cybersecurity is not new. No, security is not new. It's cyber that is new. So cybersecurity is new, but security is not new. Why do we all quote research done by others? Because data that was presented here, a lot of it, the quotes in terms of the data, is done by others. Others meaning outside our country and mostly even outside Africa. Why not reference research done by Kamau, Atieno, Mudeu? I'm just quoting the words of this individual. And then he went ahead and said, I had a lot of keywords. We can. Yes, we can. Okay, when? We will. Okay. We need. We must. We require. So what do we have? Sure. Today. What is it, apart from the policies and the processes that are ongoing, what do we have to show today in terms of industry workforce and development of the industry workforce? Do we have something that we can show? Or are we going to continue saying we will, we need, we require? What is it that we have that we can be able to show? And today's conversation is actually much less on policy and more on cybersecurity and AI. Welcome to today's session. And in a few minutes, we're going to get the first speaker. Is Sanjeev here? Yes. Sanjeev, welcome. Good. Sanjeev Sharma is late, but we are going to move on. We're going to have Philip Erode, Deputy Director, ICTA, talking to us this morning. Philip, please welcome.
Morning, colleagues. Morning once again. Yeah, so thank you so very much. My name is Philip Erode. I work at the ICT Authority. I'm in charge of cybersecurity. I don't have a presentation per se. As our NC has said, it's basically a talk, and I'll be talking to you in regards to IT, OT, information technology, and operational technology, security from a government perspective. So I'll take us through a speech that, or rather a discussion that we had written for this particular. So the chief invited guest, distinguished guests, our hosts, University of Nairobi, Kenya School of Government, NC4, that is the National Computer Cyber Crime Coordination Committee members, members of the UN, members of Cyber team, captains of the industry who are present. I can see some familiar faces, ICT practitioners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. Yeah, it is a great honor, and on behalf of ICT Authority, to join the cybersecurity community during this very important forum, Cyberweek Africa. Let me convey my congratulations to the entire partnership and the enthusiasm exhibited by CyberPro team, KSG, UON, NC4, MICDE, that is Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy, and the entire fraternity for the excellent organization, arrangement, and efforts to scale the Cyber Awareness Week 2024 to this level and bringing it to where we rightfully need it to be here at the international platform. This is a job well done. So let me tell you how my day was this morning. Today, as usual, I was woken up by my alarm. I switched on the light, not to say that I'm scared of sleeping in the dark. I just happen to enjoy sleeping in total darkness. I had a quick 10 minutes exercise and I hopped into the bathroom. I took my shower, dressed and quickly left the house. Drove to work, and the good thing is the traffic lights are working. And thank God we don't have, the previous roadblocks that we had that was common 10 months ago. I listened to the radio and I drove and arrived safely. I took the lift to my office and I sat there for a few minutes before I came here. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, life has been made very simple by the level of integration in technology, both operational technology and information technology. The convergence of these two, OT and IT, has transformed industries and lives. But maybe we might ask ourselves, what are the difference between the two? Even me personally, included. You find that operational technology mostly focuses on controls and monitors physical processes in industrial environments. Its main purpose is to ensure efficient and safe operation of machinery, equipment, and systems. Examples, we have supervisory controls and data acquisition systems. We have programmable logic controllers. We have distributed control systems, sensors, actuators, and the likes. The key characteristics are real-time operations, which are basically deterministic in behavior. Like when you take your lift, you press 12, and you are assured that it will stop on the 12th floor. You are driving and you see a traffic light, and you are assured that after the red light will be the green light or the orange light. So they are very deterministic in their behavior, and they are often proprietary systems, and they have been integrated into our physical world and the physical processes. On the other hand, IT, which is information technology, focuses on information and supports business operations. Its purpose is to enable efficient communication, data management, and decision-making. Examples include computers, servers, networks, software applications, and database, you name it. Key characteristics are it's flexible, they are scalable, and they are often commercial off-the-shelf solutions, and they emphasize on data accuracy and security. Ladies and gentlemen, operational technology primarily is concerned with the physical world, while IT is focused on the digital world. While this integration drives operational efficiency and faster decision-making, it also creates new cybersecurity challenges. As digital transformation continues in IT systems, and like corporate networks and databases, we are having these two highly integrated, and they are also being linked and converged together. These connections improves data sharing processes, like the way you are able to now efficiently drive and move from point A to point B through road traffic alerts and the likes. And of course, it provides a unified approach that makes our lives easier. However, new cybersecurity threats are constantly emerging as the Internet of Things, which basically brings the OT and IT together, continues to grow. One of the biggest challenges in ensuring seamless communication between IT and OT teams, which is have often distinct goals, is cybersecurity threats. As a country, addressing these challenges requires identifying and mapping critical assets and implementing tailored security measures. And that's when you realize my electricity when I woke up and switched on the light, my water when I hopped into the shower, the building automation system when I was able to press my 12th floor lift and I was able to be taken to 12th floor, the traffic lights when I was driving from home to work, and of course, even the traffic lights. These are all aspects of integrated IT and OT. This is basically the convergence of technology from an ICT perspective and operational technology from a supervisory systems perspective. So someone will ask, why are we discussing IT and OT security? Well, we have to acknowledge that for once, IT and OT have all converged. IT is no longer separate. It has become part and parcel of our everyday life, despite its, long-term nature. What do I mean by that? You realize, for example, when an engineer configures a PLC that is meant to support electricity, they expect that system to last for eternity, maybe 20 or so years. But that is totally separate in IT. We change our systems approximately after every 5 years, or actually even 3 years. The other thing is adoption of IoT. We have more devices that have been converged, and they are communicating and picking data from disparate systems, which of course provides for a humongous attack surface area. The other aspect is the heterogeneous audience. More people have access to network, have access to data, have access to systems. And then, of course, the increase of threats that are targeting OT, operational technology. You realize that since the emergence of Stuxnet, I think that is around 2009, thereabout, or we have the likes of Goga. These are some of the ransomware that we have. That was in 2019. It has been demonstrated that we have vulnerabilities within the CII. Those are critical information infrastructures. And MACU, most of these are actually systems that support us as a government within our infrastructures. When you look at this, the history of vulnerabilities within the CII, you will realize that every year there is something that happens within the CII. For example, in 2010, we had the Stuxnet. 2011, we had the Night Dragon. Those are all aspects of ransomware. In 2012, we had the Dragonfly, Shaman. 2014, we had the street mill attack, which was basically perpetrated by a ransomware called Havex. In 2016, or rather 2017, we had WannaCry, and those are some of the very highly sophisticated ransomware that targeted the SCADA systems. In 2018, we had also Shaman 3, and as of 2019, that is when Goga has actually been identified. So in our country, like any other developing world, we have a huge footprint of IT/OT systems within the government. And securing these systems is very crucial to protecting our critical infrastructure from cyber attacks, and of course, ensuring that the continual delivery of citizen-centric services. For example, our transport. We have the SGR, we have Kenya Airways, we have flight control systems. Manufacturing, we'll talk about foodstuffs, chemicals, our waterways. Power grids, we have KPLC, KenGen, Ketraco, you name it. All those are part and parcel of our critical infrastructures. All these require visibility, and they need to be secured. So what are some of the challenges we have as a country or as a garment in securing IT, OT. Number one is visibility. With the convergence of IT and OT, you need clear levels of visibility, not only on the IT networks, but also on the OT networks. Number two is outdated equipment. As I said, most of these critical infrastructures are basically thriving within what I would call legacy systems, and therefore the equipment might be outdated equipment. And in addition to that, the OT has a unique set of protocols that some are not even documented. The other challenge is configuration. No one is actually able to track the configurations around those systems, and therefore even the inventory that supports those systems is a challenge. And therefore requires a concerted effort from both the system owners and the people charged with that responsibility, and that's where an agency like NC4 comes in with their mandate of coordination. With these systems, you realize that for you to be able to assure service delivery, you first of all need to be able to carry out, or rather be able to provide threat detection. How are you able to do this? You of course need to pick out when you have the malwares, when you have the ransomwares, who are your third-party people accessing those systems from an aspect of your service level, service providers. You have other aspects of insider threats from disgruntled employees, people perhaps whom you have not paid, people who will perceive that you took off with their IP, intellectual property and the likes. We have rogue devices. We have seen aspects where even the supply chain of manufacturing, you need to be certain where the supplier of your hardware is coming in from, and of course the continued emergence of zero-day vulnerabilities that can be exploited. So we need to leverage on the latest threat intelligence. We need to be able to monitor our network devices and of course have what I would call efficient incident response. Item number two is on asset tracking. We've said we've spoken about threat detection, then asset tracking. How do we identify the critical assets within the entire chain that forms part and parcel of the key service providing aspect of that service? For example, if it's a water distribution line, what are the key components within the water distribution line? For example, if they do fail, you are going to have a challenge in our citizenry accessing water and the likes. So we need to make sure that some of those devices that were put in place or configured long time ago have been replaced. If they require to be patched, that has been done, and of course proper documentation has been put in place for that. So we need to be able to identify the assets. We need to discover which of them are actually actively in operation. We need to also classify them in the order of priority. And we need to collect logs. Who is logging in? Who is using it? What exactly is happening within that asset? Another aspect I will consider to be important within our OT-IT is risk management. And risk management entirely talks about the whole aspect of whether it's people, the processes, or technology that will ensure we are able to provide those services. So we need to have visibility across both IT and OT environments. We need to have what I would call deep situational awareness. What is it that we are providing, and what are the key aspects that would stop our service from being consumed by the people who expect us to deliver this service? Some aspects would be compliance. For example, right now we have data privacy. How do we ensure that we are complying with the data privacy regulations? And then, of course, higher responsiveness when incidents do occur. It's very important. and I'll also add what I'll call proactive maintenance. You realize that, colleagues, these are basically issues that we talk each year out. And that's sometimes why we are normally called cybersecurity evangelists, because we are preaching. We want more people to practice, what we call safe cyber hygiene that will change the way in which we operate, the way in which we run our technology, the way in which we are also able to provide services to our citizenry. So from a government perspective, I'll say OT-IT is based, some of it is actually within the hands of private sector, some is within the public sector, and good cyber practices around it will ensure that we are able to isolate the IT and OT networks. We carry out patch management, basically what I have highlighted. We carry out access control. Where you are a service provider or where you are basically a user who do not really need to have some level of privileges, how do we ensure that that is being complied with? Continuous monitoring is also very important. We need to have NC4 basically come up with a national level incident response. How do we respond to incidences that have far-reaching implications? For example, last year, or was it this year, when we had the e-citizen outage, how do we respond to that? Who are the people who should come and give us, update that this is what is happening, this is what we have done in order to restore the system? Of course, employee training is very important, and I applaud KSG and of course CyberPro and NC4 when you bring such forums at the heart of higher institutions of learning. It's very important because this is where the talent pool of cybersecurity practitioners will be tapped from. Other aspects include international cooperation. Cybersecurity has no boundaries. And a breach or a vulnerability that exists in a system in the Kenyan borders has no way of being controlled within the Kenyan borders. It can actually escalate globally, and therefore, when you have international cooperation, you are able to exchange information, able to share ideas on how basically to address and respond to some of this. Another important aspect is public-private partnership. As I said, some of these systems are not owned entirely by government, they are owned some by private sector. So we need to be able to know this is how both private sector and public, we are going to partner in ensuring that we are safeguarding our critical systems and our critical infrastructures, which have both IT and OT. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we implement and continue to thrive in a digital world and enjoy the interconnectedness and efficient functioning of our digital economy, we are creating an opportunity for our adversaries. It is therefore important, not only as a government agency entrusted with responsibility of ensuring the safety, security, and prosperity of our digital assets, we need to ensure that we create an atmosphere that gives us an assurance that the same has been enhanced, and we will continue to provide the services that are envisaged. In an era where digital advancements define the very fabric of our society, the shortage of skilled cybersecurity workforce poses a significant threat to our nation's stability and progress. Colleagues, we need to acknowledge the significance and importance of collaborative partnership. We should continue working closely with industry leaders, private organizations, and international partners to enhance our capacity to secure our digital assets. Human capital and skilled workforce require hands-on experience and real-world application of cybersecurity principles, fostering a new generation of skilled professionals and aiding in the upskilling of the existing workforce. It is my hope that as we engage in such forums, we are headed in the right direction and we will definitely get there soon. So thank you so very much. That's my discussion around IT, OT security.
Let's clap again for Philip. We'll take questions later, not now, in a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Philip. A response that I need to make for the question that had been asked before. What are we doing? CyberPro has a program for training, and we have a global reach. We have EC Council here, we have SAN4, we have other partners that are partnering with us, including local. Now, this is a model of our training. You have theory, which is very little. You have practicals, which is a little bit more. And then you have interaction with the experts in the industry. And then you have research. So by the time you're through, for example, with 40 hours, you have interacted with the technology as it is by the industry experts. Now, in the midst of our conference, we have a global representative, international representative, a sponsor of this conference, all the way from China. And I have seen the government is also advising young people to study Chinese. Yes, to study Chinese. It's because technology is global. So to invite our sponsors who will speak, I will ask John. John Butunga says he understands Chinese, and he needs to welcome them in Chinese.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. You guys should be a little bit alive today because someone is in Nairobi hospital right now. We are not. Those are fake news. I don't understand Chinese. And it's okay because we have a law coming up to adjust and deal with people spreading fake news. The reason I needed to speak about SAN4 is because SAN4 is our biggest sponsor or what? It's our biggest partner. They are entering the African market in the area of security, cybersecurity, and HCL, and a lot of solutions based on their operations in Europe, Middle East, and generally EMEA. For those who are looking for partners, for those who are looking for distribution solutions, for those who are looking for affordable solutions which are able to leverage or compete in the marketplace, we invite the two guys to come and let's put hands together and find Martin and I don't know the other guy, but it's just another Martin. Please come into the stage.
So, good morning, everyone. Good morning again. So, firstly, I would like to thank you all for attending this, event here. So it's my great pleasure to be here to speak about SAN4 and the solution we're offering here. Right? Let me introduce myself here. My name is Feng Yang. I'm the Regional General Managing Director for the whole the Middle East and Africa region. Okay. So. For this session, I'm not going to give you more complex about how, our security solution, how better it works. I will give you overall the framework and also the cyber scheme and what, the current marketer is, acquiring, and also what SAN4 we can help them to address somehow the pain points, globally or IT world, right? I would like the colleagues there to present my slides there. Hello? Someone can, yeah, please. Thank you. So, okay, before our colleagues to put on the presentation for today, so I would like to give a little bit, some background about Sun4, the company itself, okay? So basically, we are originally from China, okay? Our headquarters for international market, we're based in the China, Hong Kong. So we have been in the market for almost 24 years old now, so providing the both cybersecurity and cloud solution. Okay. You put the slides? Thank you. Okay, great. Today, the topic for today's my presentation is majorly for building your own safe house with Sun4 security framework. So safe house for sure. I think just Mr. Philip also mentioned about OT solution. I think for security is a big topic, right? So basically, later on we'll focus on the cybersecurity and also the infrastructure part, okay? Okay, so before we go into the solution point of view, I would like to give you some few minutes about the company, their history, and also their, the capacity itself. So basically, Sun4, we started in 2000, right? And till now, we have been in the market for almost 24 years old now. And also, the big milestone what we did, especially for Sun4, we are, from the very beginning, we have only 3 staff. Currently, we grow to more than even, 10,000 people. Official data is 9,500, but to be honest, we're more than that, okay? And you can see from their history itself, we have started our office in the Shenzhen, the Silicon Valley of China, so in 2000. And we keep launching a new product every 1 or 2 years, like as you name it, like firewall and IPsec VPN, SSVPN. Now we're going to the, the virtualization, VDI, hyperconverged infrastructure, cloud, SASE, zero trust, NDR, XDR, all these kinds of solutions. We have been growing and growing, okay? Yes. And also about the marketing penetration testing, the footprints especially in the whole that you call EMEA region, firstly. And we came to the region since 2017, and we started our first office in Dubai, okay, the UAE, Dubai. And then we started, the expanding, and we now in Italy, Spain, we have now in Oman, Saudi, and we in North Africa, in South Africa, we in Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, and also Morocco, and Turkey, Pakistan. So this currently our footprint. Now we are in Nairobi, Kenya. Okay, so this is how all we bring our commitment to the customer partners. As just now our Joe mentioned that also we are here looking for, if you are looking for any global partnership with cybersecurity and cloud infrastructure solution vendor, Sun4 definitely will be your ideal partner to be discussion for that. Okay, so a little bit more about Sun4 itself, right? As I mentioned, we are not only providing cybersecurity, and also we have our cloud solution and also infrastructure. So this is somehow the Sun4 group company itself. We have 3 big main business units. First is cybersecurity, then is cloud infrastructure, and then is our IoT and also our networks, infrastructure like switch, router, and application, Wi-Fi app, okay, APP, this kinds of. And also about Sun4 solution here itself, we have the old solution, what you name it, or mostly you can find in the Gartner, okay, like as you name it in the market, like hyperconverged infrastructure, virtualization, the internet access gateway, their WAN optimization, load balancer, firewalls, VPNs, all on that. Okay, so we give a few minutes about their, the company itself. So now you have an idea. So now I'm going to go into the technology parts. Okay, so the first slide I'm going to show you is about, the global market for cybersecurity and segmentation, right? This is somehow a latest Gartner report. Okay, I think most of the ingenious talents here, you must know about Gartner in the IT world. It's like a famous agent, especially for third-party reports. So according to Gartner, so there by 2025, it's the cybersecurity market will grow to 225 billion. So this is not small scale, right? So we also have listed down somehow more into every segmentation, like access secure and network secure is firewall, endpoint secure is some, and gateway and cyber command is our NDR, and then cyber guarding is our MDR service. Okay, so this coming slides, I'm also going to give you some idea about the security market trends, right? So there are a lot of new technology you can see every day, every day, and also even every quarter, every month, coming with new solution, launches in the market. So register the popular, you can see a solution where you can name it. I calculate with 5 categories. So you can see here for the new security technologies. The zero trust, definitely, XDR, EDR, NDR, CSPM, CASP. So now it's become, because it's more popular. And even now, especially for NDR, they come, according to Gartner, gradually become older. Like XDR or SASE, this kind of become more popular. For security service, and we are outsourcing, managing security, and for unified management, SOC, next generation, SIEM, SOAR, and also XDR solution is on the way to become more and more mature. And for AI systems, definitely, everybody now is talking about AI, right? As a leading cybersecurity and cloud solution vendor in the market, definitely all our solution is integrated with AI. Later on, I will give you some idea how we put AI to cybersecurity scheme. For SASE delivery, definitely. And I think now, the globally is a big trend for build their own SASE pub in every country and also the capital city and big cities, right? Just to meet the very hot demands from the market. Okay, so here is, according to the third-party report, also, 2/3 of the enterprises with over 5,000 employees, they have more than 25 vendors in the solution. This is amazing. This is also creating a big complexity in the IT infrastructure, because you need to have every domain, the specialist or professionals to manage all these different kinds of solutions. But also, the big problem now for the IT world is also about the IT professional shortages. Okay, so not everyone can have the body or to having all professionals to manage all those security products. And here I just make a small photo for you to understand how the big changes from the IT world and from the past till now. Now, from the past, you can understand, maybe most of the companies, they only have put the data center in their own one at headquarters, right? So in the past, they only have all the server is in one room. Okay, so that means they only need a few, and also there's very less of the applications or less of the security. They only have firewall and maybe some servers to put on the application. But now it's become more and more complex, like cloud. You don't need to mention about the multi-location of the headquarters of branches, and also about cloud, and also the hybrid cloud models. So, and also working from anywhere become more complex, because your employee now, especially for enterprises customer, even for the government, they have so many their entities in the cross the country, or even they have outside like embassy across different countries, on continent. And for the private sectors, they have multiple branches across the nowadays. Global trends become unstoppable, right? Every international companies, they have multiple branches across every country or continent, like in Africa, maybe in Middle East, in Asia, in China, in US, anywhere, right? So it's the network, the security border become more and more complex and more harder for the IT guys to manage in a very efficient way. And also now is to, so we conclude this big trend, I mean the threats or the complexity into majorly into two domains. The first is about the borderless office and the access, because nowadays, as I mentioned, right? So business implemented and everywhere, and their access from anywhere and from from any endpoints, right? And border institutional security parameters become more complex. And security is the second is security is increasingly complex and fragmented. So new cyber attack, variants happen every day, especially like a ransomware attack. Even nowadays, the every day, every minute, hours. So there's victims to be affected by the ransomware. They need to pay their hackers about the corporate monies. So too many, there are overlapping security products in market. So it's very hard for a customer to choose the right products and also to have the right professional to configure it the right way, right? And too many, the alerts to analysis, right? Later I will give you some idea, right? You have multiple products in the market and you manage it in an efficient way. That's too hard. And lack of skill and manpower, this is somehow the big challenges now, especially for every, the enterprise, every end user, right? So here is about some first security scheme, right? So in order to address these two parts, as I mentioned, the first is a borderless office and the access. The second is about security fragmentation. So we came into the solution what can help you to provide an idea, right? So probably it's not 100% perfect way, but you can have an idea for these trends. So for the borderless office, we have, we can provide you the protection connection from anywhere, and from their security fragmentation, we have the holistic and simplified security analysis for that, okay? So now I'm going to the topic for SAMFOR security framework, right? This is also, we're going to give you some ideas what we are, as a leading, the cybersecurity and the solution vendor in the market, what we are offering and what we're trying to do to give you the best security framework, okay? So here is a big, I'm not sure you can see clearly, but I will try to explain you, okay? So in a way, basically SAMFOR, we are a very unique vendor in the market, okay? So we are one of the very few vendor. So providing, independence in providing the cybersecurity, cloud solution and network, integrated in a way. So that's also give a big advantage to help us to providing the synergy. Because nowadays, you can name it, all the vendor in the globally, in the big vendors, they are trying to provide you the integrated with AI or synergy as a big topic. But how they provide synergy if they don't even have the picture of the solution wise? So let me give you some idea. So at SAMFOR, as I mentioned, like we have the next generation firewalls and the NDXDR and the endpoint security, they can be all integrated and managed by single platform, and they can do all the levels correlation. And also it can be integrated with third party, and also it's built in. The cybersecurity is inbuilt with our cloud platform. I mean the virtualization, private cloud, and the most public cloud solution in our portfolio. And also we're using AI to make a connection more, smoothly, and to give you all the alerts, and also to help you to provide a managed security solution platform. Okay. So here is the somehow I want to mention to you. So we can, as a solution provider, we can help you to address from doesn't matter you're startups or you are already a big giant in the market as a virtual enterprise customer. So we can provide you the different kinds of solution from entry level to the mature level. So from the entry level, probably you will majorly concerned about your endpoint security, your endpoints like your laptops or even some pad, or it doesn't matter, and you have some server. So the endpoints become very critical for you to protect all the access points, right? Then your branch office, your IoT devices can be all be considered, right? for the large enterprise customer, you have your own data center, the public cloud. You may be using public cloud. You use your private cloud for internet protection. You maybe have SaaS application. So that can be all concluded in our security protection area. Okay. Okay. So here is about how we address for you for SaaS-based on-premises collaboration with your business. So it doesn't matter for your I think some of our friends here, you maybe are already using the public cloud service already, like Azure, Google, or even Huawei Cloud in this region. Okay, maybe you're still using the on-premises solution. So that somehow we can help you and to address this pain point, especially on the cloud security, it's become very hard for you to handling it right in the right way. Okay, so here, and also it's about the topic we just now mentioned about, right? So with the synergy, with the unique feature from Sanford side, so we can help you also with the integration of some old products, we can help you to provide you the enhanced security awareness and also the capability. So 1 + 1 is much more than 2. Okay, so later on, so what we do for you, the firstly, we can help you to achieve the faster remediation, because in the security world, it's not only about how stronger the product itself, it's how effectively you can use this solution to achieve or to give you the fully analysis of protection, right? So we can help you to provide the faster remediation, the more accurate, the correlation analysis, because a solution itself can integrate with third party or some for own solution. Okay, that matter is if you are already in the IT world, you must understand in the whole global world, you have for the security, you have the major vendors like CP, Checkpoint, Palo Alto, and Fortinet, and so forth, all this name in it, right? So we can integrate all this big vendor in existing the customers in his own data center, and to collect all the necessary security information. And also you can collect all the more accurate information from some first security solution, like next generation firewall, EDR, endpoint security, and NDR and XDR solution, even the SASE itself, okay? So more flexible. So why we mention more flexible? So first is about data that inspected. So all the data inspected will be collected into the intelligence, okay? And give you a fully correlation. And policy management or more easier for setup, okay? So the very last, very important thing is also the big topic nowadays is about AI, okay? It's about AI and about the GPT. Okay, I think probably, especially in generation AI, it's become more and more popular now as a major solution vendor in Sparky. So we are one of the first vendor to introduce AI into our firewall. Okay, next generation firewall. We're building. We launched our engine series AI-based antivirus engine and our Nurex AI-based cloud threat intelligence in 2015 that time, okay? It's very early time for that. We start developing that. And also, 2 years ago, and in 2022, we start developing this AI security GPT. Once the GPT become full famous, in 2023, last year, we launched our first product, Security GPT here, okay? So it can help you to provide all the security instance analysis and also the report, and help you to also to identify that all your configuration is effective or not effective, okay? And this is somehow the benefits and value we can provide you with all the solution. The first is easy of use and implement. Once you see, if any of our colleagues here, you are interested, later on we have online demo center, and also we have the training center, so you can have access to all the materials. You will find out, once you see the demo on device itself, you find out it's very easy to understand and to get used to the solution and the GUI of the management platform. And better effectiveness with all integration, efficient operation, wire-free service with all the original vendor support, and the future-proof with the cloud-ready solution, no matter security, and also our cloud infrastructure, and best practice itself, definitely. So we're coming off the value proposition of the brand in this market, so we provide a simple, effective, and cost-effective solution, definitely, for all the kinds of market. Okay, this is our commitment. So just now I mentioned, I'm not sure if my speed you can catch up with that, because I mentioned a little bit more about it, the vendor value itself and about security trends itself. Now I'm going to give you somehow more details about the solution we're offering here, okay? So sorry for this, the rating is a little bit small, but for some our guests here behind me may not see clearly, but I want to give you somehow, I will speak about it. So for the security part, we have major three categories, okay? The first is about a secure solution. Secure solutions like we have the dedicated anti-ransomware solution with a combination of our security products. And then like we have SD-WAN solution, okay? And simplify this operation, okay? Then it's about the secure access, like SASE. Then the second is about secure products. Products itself is the components of our solution itself. Like next generation firewall, now we call it SOC4 Network Secure. And then it's a SOC4 Cyber Command is our NDR, okay? To help you to understand it easily. And then the SOC4 Endpoint Security and the SOC4 Omni Command. So Omni Command for sure, I mean, maybe you understand it. Omni Command means all in one. It's a cloud threat intelligence, okay? We call it is XDR. It's SOC4 version of XDR. Okay, it can help you to achieve more high level the security intelligence. And so provide a platform to analyze all the security like logs and also their security trends, meaning the threats inside the network. You can coordinate with all the third-party brands. First is SOC4 solution and also third-party brands, you name it. Like you can integrate with as a Checkpoint, Palo Alto, and Fortinet, all the F5, this famous name in the market. And so SOC4 Network Secure, Endpoint Secure, NDR, Internet Access Gateway can be all in one platform to provide you the more accurate information. Then the third part is about security services. The last part, okay, it's a security service. We have the Cyber Guardian. It's called our SOC4 MDR, the Managed Detection Response Platform. Okay. Then it's about the Cyber Guardian and Instance Response NDR, and also the Cyber Guardian Threat Intelligence (TIRA). So we have live version of the cybersecurity service, and also we have the big version of the cybersecurity services, right? So it depends on the requirements. You can put it, we have the SASE definitely, I mentioned SASE and the Zero Trust solution in the top. So the capability of SOC4 is we can provide you either on-premises and also both on-premises and also the cloud solution. So we can even to help to build their SASE platform here, locally here, okay? With very light, the footprints here. Okay, so as just now I mentioned about their security, their solution, and also the secure market trends and the secure market needs and the SOC4, the unique solutions. And here I want to also give you some idea. As global vendor, leading vendor in the market, definitely we have been 24 years old, so we have to understanding for all kinds of requirements. Firstly, for government and the public sector, or even for the enterprise sectors, we have compliance. We have to understand the compliance requirements. And then in the industry, we have the customized industry solution, no matter it's like the banking sector, FSI, and the telco sector, and also oil and gas energy sectors, all parts of education and health and the manufacturers. So all this kind of we have customized solution. And for security sectors, we have provided you the secure operation and data security and cloud security, APP security, and the infrastructure security. And for security threats, we have the security service, MDR, incident response, and all other security services to help to do the remediation. Okay, so all those solutions we can provide to you based on our components, our security solution components. Okay. Then just now give you a big framework about the solution security platform and capability stuff, right? Now I'm going to give you somehow a little bit more details into each product and the category. Okay, so this is about just now we mentioned about security. Now I think it's much more clear, right, compared to the last slides. So for anti-ransomware, we have our endpoint security network secure, even our NDR to combine as a ransomware solution. We combine the 3 products to make it a solution, okay, to give you a fully protected. And the simplified secure operation, SD-WAN, and our Soundforce SASE solution with our SaaS platform and Zero Trust platform itself. Yeah. So here is about the product itself. And now I think it's more clear, right? So for the product itself, we have so majorly we make it as a 2 sector, so 2 tier. The first is about security analysis. Because according to the requirements, some customer you already have the infrastructure, you may to enhance your security analysis capability, right? So in this case, we have provided the network secure, then it's endpoint secure, cyber command, and omni command to enhance the whole your network's the security analysis capability. Then it's about access security. Access security normally, if you are just start up our new company, just trying to, or maybe recently you don't want to upgrade your security. So especially from the access security point of view, we have the Zero Trust to provide you access from anywhere, right? It's kind of upgrading of the current access VPN, what they can provide you. Then it's about the access secure SASE, okay? And then it's the internet access gateway to help you to give you full analysis about the traffic and to protect your access level, okay? No matter it's like here in this meeting hall, maybe you have Wi-Fi here. So if we provide free Wi-Fi for all the guests here, probably we're concerned about if there's even in our guest here, maybe some hiker already here. Okay, if you're ethical hiker, that's good. But if there's someone doing some bad things here, so probably you will understand that you are trying to use the Wi-Fi to attack all the guests you are on the phone. If you connect to the same Wi-Fi, then probably you will be targeted. Okay. And also here, I want to also explain a little bit more. I mentioned about the synergy, right? Synergy is all about integration and also the communication between all the solution. So here is about the logic map here. So I mentioned here, we mark it out like on-premise solution screen, the blue is on-premise and plus the SASE version and the integration. So all this security solution, you can fully integrate with each other. Even like, just give an example. So our endpoint security and our next generation firewall network secure, plus our NDR XDR solution. Just take an example. Like in the typically enterprise customer, you have firewall, you have endpoint security, maybe antivirus from any vendor. So you just give example. If the endpoint security find any threats, so what he going to do? So it will keep this information with this laptop, right? Maximum, you will send to this information to the platform itself, right? So the firewall or our NDR itself, it has nothing to do with the information because it has no information from endpoint security. So that means it will cause a lot of a delay or latency for you to have the full visibility. Just imagine if the one secure accident happening in one medium to large level of the customer. Okay, so how long will them take to take actions? Okay, so probably it will take weeks or even months. Depends on the scale, right? Depends on how many the equipments they have. That is, to be honest, for taking any security instance, 1 week, 1 month, that's too much. Okay, that means you already been compromised. Your data already been stealed, and not effective way, okay? So with this kind of integration, all the security information or logs can be shared with the intelligence platform. It can even take the correlation actions, okay? Automatic actions to be implemented. Okay? Yeah. So about security service here, I just mentioned about secure products, right? Here is a security service here. Cyber Guardian, I want to make it more clear. It's about incident response. And with Cyber Guardian, threat intelligence is based on our security products. So for example, if I have NDR, you can use NDR products to do healthy check with all your network. Because anyway, how it works, the NDR itself will collect all the traffic. You have the prop and brain. The prop will collect all the traffic from your core switch, or maybe from aggregate switches to do all analysis. It's more than, it's not, you can see it's not unlike the It's not like the firewall itself. Firewall will only protect you from the gateway level, right? From the north to south traffic, or maybe south to north traffic. And endpoint security will collect all information from endpoints, right? But the NDR itself, it will collect whole traffic from all the raw data inside a network to provide full visibility. It also can coordinate with the firewall endpoint security to give you the full correlation or even more accurate data. Okay? Yeah. Okay, and we're going to have the last slides. I mean, the last page for this one. Change the last one. Yeah. So this somehow we already mentioned about just overall the company's security solution product itself, and I want to give you some also idea now, also conclusion here. So about Sunfire itself, we are here to aiming to provide you the one-stop solution. Okay, so providing with the full it doesn't matter for security, and for security, the part, different security part is one of the major part and a very critical part, and definitely another part is for the cloud infrastructure. Natively, the Sunfire can integrate both of the solution in a very good way. Okay, so and here I was trying to continue with Mr. Joe. He mentioned about that for partnership here. So we are a global leading vendor here. So if anyone you want to go deeper in, or maybe just trying to learn with any solution, and just please contact the CyberPro and Ms. Joe, or contact us directly. We can provide you the all consultation and also the business partnership in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Let's clap again for Phil Niang. That's technical. We have Lieutenant Colonel Moisa Kenyi from Ministry of Defense. Please come to the stage.
Distinguished delegates, all protocols observed, good morning. As you've been told, my name is Lieutenant Colonel Moisa Kenyi from the Ministry of Defense. What I want to discuss today is building. Can I have my slides? Building national cybersecurity capabilities. Talking after such illustrious presenters is quite an odious task, but as I go through my presentation, you will see that there is nothing new. As one king once said, there is nothing new underneath the sun. What has been, it's what shall be. In this respect, I am encouraged also by the fact that the more you hear about something, it guarantees you safety, according to somebody who spoke somewhere that I read. As a way of introduction, I won't belabor on the cyber threats. It has been elaborated. In our society, this is what we are experiencing, and even in this country, we have experienced one of our critical infrastructure information system that was plagued by cyber threats. Next slide, please. Now, for cyber defense, all we are trying to do is protect critical infrastructure and safeguard sensitive government and personal data. So in this regard, we need to know what our critical infrastructure information systems are, and what we've had with the CMCA regulations is we have a way of now gazetting and ensuring that securitization of these CIIs is done. Next slide, please. The objectives of cyber defense is to prevent cyber attacks. That includes having proactive measures and especially doing threat assessments. That means visibility, and with that you'll be able to do vulnerability scan and penetration testing. And in case an incident occurs, we need to do damage mitigation. And in this case, effective response strategies need to be in place to ensure minimal damage and resumption of services. And also this is augmented with enhancing resilience. These recovering plans and backup plans that need to be in place. Now, in terms of KDF mandate, KDF draws its mandate from the Constitution and the KDF Act 2012. And the mandate is simple: defend and protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity. And as you've heard, cyber space is the fifth domain. That means in one aspect, it's a territory that needs defending, just as we have land, sea, maritime, and space. Therefore, what does KDF do? The implied role of KDF as opposed to is to defend cyberspace using deterrence and including conduct of disruptive actions to counter cyber threats, cyber actors, wherever they may be. And this has some ramifications, but I will go step by step. For KDF, at one level, we have what we call our own network. Let me just say MOD, CIS. That means we need to defend our own communication and information systems. And this, we have a team that does that, and their primary role is to implement meeting user requirements, because remember, not all of us are in KDF are computer or information technicians and all that, but we serve maneuver commanders. Therefore, their requirements in the battlefield and all these, and even back office requirements that we need to implement, CIS, that is Communication and Information Systems. This is what this team does. So their bias is meeting the user requirement. And as in Swahili we say, mganga hajigangi ama kinyozi hajinyoi, we have another team that now checks on the security of these systems. And in this case, we talk of defense cyber operations. And it is their duty to check on or give them visibility. They're able to follow up, and they're able to advise us where we have vulnerabilities that need plugging. One aspect with the other team that we talked of that meet user requirement, as all of us, we are not only meeting user requirements, but in the constraints we are all in some constraints that we cannot always do what needs to be done. But we need a team that is able to think and have innovative solutions that are able to be applied within those constraints. So, what if something happens and the perpetrator is from another country? This is now what we call offensive cyber operations that need to be engaged, but within the confines that are agreed upon in the Constitution and the KDF Act, because the deployment must be authorized. And therefore, it is only KDF that is able to conduct such offensive cyber operations when called upon and necessary, because that means that we have entered a state of war, and some aspects of warfare must be engaged to defend the interests of Kenya. Now, how to disrupt? It may be done through cyber warfare, or if needed, you may use also kinetics. When I talk of kinetics, is other forms of force that may be able to disrupt the perpetrator or the cyber threat that is causing damage to, or intending to cause damage to Kenyan interests, strategic interests. So, in this case, in terms of, go back to the defense cyber operations, this is what happens in terms of our own network. But our mandate is not only to protect KDF network, it is to protect all the cyberspace. Therefore, there is one iteration that allow me visibility of key, because we need KDF even in the land or sea or air. There is what we call patrolling. These patrols enable us to know the movement or any intention of an adversary. And this also enables us to collect intelligence and know or determine commensurate or proportion force that can be used to mitigate such threats. So the same thing needs to happen also in the cyberspace. Therefore, there is need to have visibility. And I think what we have in terms of the idea of having cyber security operations centers being deployed in various areas, be it from the organization level, sectors, and up to the national, so that escalation of cyber incidences is done in a way that the environment or the terrain, because knowledge of terrain is critical in knowing how you are going to tackle an adversary. So knowing our terrain means we know every critical infrastructure, how it operates, at least at a bare minimum, so that when there is need to engage, you don't start from zero. At least you know where to plug in and where to bring strength. Therefore, collaboration is key. I think if this was a song, because we are singing the same thing, the chorus of this song would be collaboration. We need to engage with partners and also know the strength of partners and also the mandates, the different mandates and how they come together. That's why we are very grateful for the NC4 who receive these and are able to channel to the respective, knowing, because they know the mandate of each and every member. So for KDF, in terms of now building our own capacity and capabilities, what we do in terms of human resource, recruitment and development of key personnel are mandated to ensure that we fulfill our mandate must we must partner, we must receive, because we draw this personnel from the population. Therefore, our first contributors to human resource is academia. That's why we check for necessary qualifications from the academic background so that we are able to know where to fit you in. And in this regard, when we get the best minds, then we know that we are safeguarding the territorial or the cyberspace territorial integrity of this nation. And that goes hand in hand with the training and education programs, and also for the research and innovation. KDF has what we call the National Defense University, and within that university, we have a think tank that is able to do research and look at emerging technologies, see where, because there are some technologies which come in to disrupt. Once they disrupt, you must have anticipated how the disruption would be and find out how to mitigate the disruption. Case in point, right now we have the advent of Starlink. So even if we were manning gateways, then there is another challenge of how do we man satellite gateways. In this regard, we still, to ensure that our systems are up and running, we have TTPs for incident response, and we do simulations so that you find lessons learned, and the review, get the lessons learned and incorporate them so that you will continuous improvement. And as I said, the chorus will be partnerships, collaboration with international partners who, because nobody was born knowing these things, and information, there is no monopoly. Therefore, we get partners who hold our hands, and in this case, KDF is mandated even by the same constitution and KDF Act to have defense corporations, and in these defense corporations, we're able to leverage such partnerships on matters of cybersecurity and get the strengths from our friendly partners. And also in this, we will find that we do joint exercises in cybersecurity and also training. I still reiterate collaboration with the academia, industry, and other government agencies, because we must partner, because if it's cybercrime, then it is internal, and that is the docket of internal Interior Ministry, the Minister of Interior. Next slide, please. As much as we may have good capabilities, procure the best of the best. I believe personally that the most influential link in how cyberspace or the security of cyberspace is still the human element. Because even as of now, we may talk of AI, but still we are in a giggle phase. That means it still does what it is told. So, and the one that influences that is the human element. So, for as long as we take care of the human element right now, then we are able to shape the terrain or the cyberspace in Kenya. And how do we do this? There's a place, it is written, as a man thinketh, so is he. So as we train our youth and the public and use public aware campaigns to sensitize and ensure cyber hygiene and all that, then we will have met a great portion of, or taken care of the risk involved at least some level. So this also goes on to the organizations, that they ensure that their employees are well trained in matters cybersecurity. It can be made mandatory to take such courses. There's no need to be very lengthy, but sufficient enough to ensure that the employees are well capable of handling the minimal risks. We should continue to encourage youth participation in cybersecurity, and this especially the education initiatives, talking about patriotism and ethics. Because if we have great minds who are able to conduct cyber operations, but don't have regard for patriotism, neither patriotism nor ethics, then we won't be fighting an external problem, but the problem will be within. So this must be inculcated in the citizenry to ensure that we know that the responsibility for this cyberspace begins with us, as much as the greater responsibility will be undertaken by the institutions and organizations in Kenya. But at the individual level, the responsibility must begin there. Next slide, please. On this slide are the 11 United Nations norms were agreed on, I think, in 2021 or 2022. These are rules that are non-binding, and they don't restrict any state from acquiring cyber warfare capabilities, but they stipulate on matters that enhance peace and stability among nations. And I will just name but a few, especially the ones in red. Okay, there is interstate cooperation on security, that is to ensure peace and stability. Serial number 2 speaks of when an incident occurs, do not be quick to retaliate, but ensure that all relevant information has been considered. In this case, diplomacy may come in. Instead of swatting a mosquito with a hammer, you engage in diplomacy and come to amicable solutions between nations. Prevent misuse of ICT in your territory. That means ensure that in your backyard all is well And I think what we had talked about in terms of patriotism and ethics would ensure that this is well catered for. We have to cooperate to stop crime and terrorism. That is amongst the nations, and I think there is a Budapest Convention that also emphasizes on this, of which Kenya is a signatory also, but I'm not sure. Then respect for human rights and privacy, and Serial 6 emphasizes on do not damage critical infrastructure do not target the critical infrastructure of your the other states. It may work in peace, but in case of wars you've seen between Ukraine and Russia, that is not the case, because the mind of a commander is different. You will target the critical information systems or critical infrastructure to ensure that you conclude the war at the minimal at the minimum time. Then we have protect critical infrastructure, respond to requests for assistance from neighboring states, and in this regard, need to have capability and capacity so that we offer assistance also to our neighbors. Ensure chain security, report ICT vulnerabilities. This will ensure that threat intelligence is widely shared and able to mitigate at the soonest time possible. And number 11 just says, do not harm emergency response teams. This means do not attack if it is your neighbor state, do not attack their response teams when probably an incident has occurred. Don't target their response teams, cyber response teams. And I think with that, that marks how the nations or the international view of how states should behave so that we continue in peace and stability. Up to that point, I think I've concluded my presentation. Thank you very much.
Let's clap for the speaker again, please. As we welcome on stage Philip, we're going to have a Q&A. Each speaker, 2 or 3 questions. Please. So, who has a question for either of the speakers? There is one. I want to see show of hands. Yeah, that's one. That's 2. I'll give you numbers. Any other person with a question? That's number 3. Last one. The other gender. It's only men who have raised their hands. Do we have ladies who have a question? Okay, we'll start with, that's 1, 2, and 3. Please proceed. Yeah, it's on. On, yes, speak.
on your slide is very much encouraging that the KDF is doing well in terms of cyber defense. But my worry is when you talk of ethics and patriotism, we see much of lack of hygiene in the cyberspace in Kenya. As part of the regulator, what is in place to make sure that within our territory, we are developing that cyber hygiene within the population so that we don't bring in what you have said, that instead of defending our own, then we find the enemy is within. So how do you make it that the hygiene within the cyberspace is calculated within the population? Thank you.
Very good. Number two? Oh, sorry. So, yeah, number two.
Good morning. My name is Harvey Sijenyi, Business Process and Cybersecurity Officer of Avenue Healthcare. And thank you for the wonderful slide that you presented. And one of the key aspects we were talking about, Canon, was protecting the critical infrastructure of this nation. I was going through one of the critical infrastructure of this nation, and that is the SHA website. We know that it is going to be launched very soon, and currently employers have already been notified that before 31st of September, they need to register their employees. So yesterday we had an argument of where these policies are. So I decided to take myself to where the policies are. And one of the key things I noticed, probably you might not have the answers, but you may use this information to protect our critical infrastructure. Realize that there are critical ports which are open within that structure. And, the critical ports were port 2022, which is for SSH, port 80, and port 443. Now, if you understand the dangers of these ports being opened, they have dire ramifications. And unauthorized access, port 2022 being opened, that one means an authorized person can get this data. Remember, employers need to register their employees in that particular site. And therefore, it takes us to the question, when these ports are open, we go back to the aspect of the data protection. How secure are our data going to be? System. We have when we were talking about yesterday, because he talked about the incident that happened previously with our critical government. Remember, we suffered a DDoS attack. That DDoS attack was as a result of an open port, which is port 80. Likewise, it is the same port that is open on the SHA website. So how sure are we that we are not going to face the same critical things that happened previously? Later on went and found the IP address of the server. There are very many things that can be done when somebody has this IP address. The public key already there. You have the public key. So in this hall, when we are talking about matters cybersecurity, we have three types of cybersecurity people. We have the black hat, the white hat, and the gray hat hackers. You don't know because it is not going to be labeled on our foreheads that this is an ethical hacker. So probably maybe addressing this, be in a position to now help us even understand and protect ourselves from such damages or ramifications. Probably maybe the implementation of hiding this IP address, especially for the server. There are several tools that can be used to hide these IP addresses.
Good. Please, next question. Please do not explain. Just ask the question.
My name is Steve. I work for a Dutch company. Mentioned something that is very my company by they happens to be other defense forces, including forces. And you've mentioned, Colonel, about something to do with satellite communication. I'd like to understand what level of visibility do we have in as far as the KDF satellite communications is concerned? My second question goes to my friend from ICTAD. How or what level of visibility do we have to critical systems such as e-citizen, considering that those servers are not even within the boundaries of Kenya?
Thank you very much. Lack of ethics and cyber hygiene. Okay, we'll begin with the Colonel. Answer the two questions, but then I think also critical infrastructure question can also be handled by Philip. So please.
Thank you very much for your questions. Cyber hygiene inculcation within the population, what KDF is doing about that. Now, in terms of handling or tackling, I think it's the responsibility of all of us, from academia, even the industry itself, and government, KDF being an arm of that. So for us at KDF, we have what we call human civil action. For us, in tackling the population, there's a subset that is the uniformed. The KDF itself, we are conducting programs to ensure that our soldiers are sensitized on this issue. So that is a subset of the population, but still we are able to come in and sensitize through the human civil action. But I think in conjunction with the NC4, then we are able to do much more because they're able to coordinate all the MDAs involved. I think I've handled your question satisfactorily. Okay. The second question, protecting CAI. This is what I mentioned about visibility. You know, as an ethical hacker, you need permission to address some things. So for us, I think for the critical infrastructure, since they have been gazetted as such, then we have to find modus of engaging earliest possible. And I think I commend you because you have seen it and reported. And that's why also NC4 comes in and they say report incidences. So not only incidences do you report to NC4, but such observations, and they will be taken care of. And by NC4 contacting the, or addressing the issue through the relevant MDA. I handled your question satisfactorily, I hope. Okay. Question number 3, visibility in satellite communication. As I touched, I was saying it is something new. So where you are is where I am, but it needs addressing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I was saying that I'll continue and contribute from where Lieutenant Colonel has, answered from. In regards to the first question, that is on the aspects of cyber hygiene. I think cyber hygiene is a very important and should be an integral part and parcel of our lives as because if you look at it from where the country is headed to, we have a lot of emphasis and concerted efforts towards, ensuring that all services are basically ported and moved to digital platforms. So it basically means that every single citizen of this country should be able to securely interact with the digital platforms. You want to pay your school fees, you are meant to use probably a payment platform or a government payment gateway, whether it's e-citizen or wherever it is, you are being subjected to a digital platform. And it does not only call for, a cyber hygiene, but it also calls for what I'll call digital inclusion. You need to make sure that not only do we have, safe cyber hygiene, awareness campaigns that are run across the entire country, but also for people who are marginalized, they are able to use these platforms and they can be able to transact and get these services securely. So I would tend to think that it should be made part and parcel of our everyday life, the way we have the normal personal hygiene. You wake up in the morning and the first thing I need to do is to take a shower, brush my mouth, or do anything. It is for your own safety. So the same should also apply to our digital life, where whether it's passwords, whether it's safekeeping of my PII, that is personal identifiable information, what does it, or rather what is it that is expected of me to do that? So cyber hygiene should be a cross-cutting and national campaign that should advocate for the same across all sectors of our citizenry. Two, who asked about, critical information infrastructures. I'll also, support what the lieutenant has said. There is something called responsible reporting. And this is actually enshrined within the law, that is the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. If you come across, a glaring vulnerability, there are stipulated channels that you need to follow in actually reporting the same. And of course, all these services, for example, the system that you have mentioned, SHA, I think currently it's still under pilot running. That is why it's not been commissioned yet. It's still under pilot running. So the issues that you have raised, I think they are pertinent issues. However, there are proper channels that will need to be followed for the same to be addressed. And I appreciate, the aspect that you've identified the same and reported it. I just wanted to correct you that the issue of DDoS has no relationship with port 80, and it's totally a separate aspect when you're talking of port 80 and DDoS. Question number 3 was on the aspect of satellite comms. I don't think I have anything to add on to that because, as Colonel has said, it's a totally new area. We are also learning, and we hope that by the time it gets to the level where we can be able to respond, proper visibility solutions have been provided to address that. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's clap for the two speakers and the response. Okay, now we are going to take a break, a short break, tea break, photography, and a little bit of networking. That's 20 minutes. Please, let's converge outside and get back in 20 minutes.